So today it's finally time for another Björk installment in our discography tour right here, and the album is Homogenic. I don't know what to expect. We just listened to Post. Post is a great album. I listened to so much of these tracks. It's also quiet. It's just a genius track still, in my opinion. And it's just a really fun album. And it was very different listening to listen to Björk, especially while I listened to Post to debut album, and also for Sora, something very different right at the end that came out just like a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know much about Björk, but I know that she's just more and more getting more experimental with the sound. So right here we have Homogenic. Wild cover right here. It looks like so weird. It's kind of like looks like some kind of anime ice sculpture queen. I don't know. It's really weird how that one looks right there. And let's read what they have to say right here about Homogenic. Considered by various sources to be one of the best albums of all time. Oh. Okay. One of the best albums of all time. From various sources. Okay. And the best of the year along with Radiohead's OK Computer. I heard of Radiohead. I know some things about Radiohead. I know that they're very popular and stuff. OK Computer. Okay. Sounds cool. Björk's third solo album, Efforts saw the light in late 1997 and received universal acclaim and good worldwide. Received sales. The album juxtaposes. What kind of verb is that? This album juxtaposes with the organic with the electronic. Okay, cool. And was mostly produced and written by Björk with some help from Mark Bell, Sjón, but I 100% misspelled that one. Howie B, Guy Sigsworth, among others. Alright. These are the words that Björk used to okay. Some words we get right here. Icelandic, cosmopolitan, contrast, patriotic, warrior, confrontational. While we have warrior and patriotic at the same time, it's really interesting. Confrontational, green, volcanic beats. Okay. So maybe we get some like really hard beats like on debut or something. I don't know. We'll see. Iceland octet. What is Iceland octet? I don't know. And active. Cool. So let's just jump right into it, right? I don't know what else should be waiting for us right here beside the music, right? So the first track is called Hunter.
If travel is searching and home what's been found, I'm not.
Very good so far. I wouldn't say interesting. It's just really good. The drumming is really interestingly panned and kind of also mixed because there are like some really small little kicks and they just like kick around. If that makes sense. That sounds great. Also these little harmonicas or accordions that are in the back are really some nice additions, and also Björk's very nice little hums in the background is really gives this track a very nice suspense. And also the greatest thing right here is are these strings that came in right here. It's a chorus, I'm going hunting and stuff. That one sounds great right there. So let's listen to it. Oh damn, all those little different aspects coming in right there, they are so small and detailed, and they just come all in together and makes this beautiful product on this track right here. It sounds amazing, but it's just like really not pushing too much into your kind of like sound and track right here, but still there's so much to it. I couldn't even like digest some small things, what's going on right there at the second verse and in the interlude right there. But that sounds amazing. Right now I also see how like she talks about Iceland and stuff. I thought I could organize Freedom How Scandinavian of me. You sussed it out, didn't you? Interesting. But because I don't really know much about like Icelandic or Scandinavian politics or something, but she sure doesn't know what she's talking about, especially with calling the track Hunter. Maybe it's like about some past of like Iceland and stuff. I don't know. Let's listen more.
So you left me on my own. I'm a hunter. I'm going hunting.
The first track, that one just has beautiful sound, all the different strings and instruments coming in. Those drummings didn't get paled at all, and that was just like riding through the whole song. It's this beautiful pattern, there's panning left and right, and you doesn't get any like uninterest in those drums because they are just so well organized that they are just amazing to listen to and also really fun. So this was great. This track is really good as a first track also. I wonder if she just like continues this sound, this electronic sounds kind of with organic at the same time, like we read at the start right there, because we had some of these ideas previously, but not that fleshed out and well orchestrated, because those strings are so well kind of written. They are really like, if she goes hunting or something, it sounds great. So yeah, let's move on to the next track. While on this track I feel a 9 as a first track. So let's move on to the next track, which is called Yoga.
To this state of emergency, how beautiful to be you here deep inside of me. Ooh, you don't have to speak, I feel.
Well, at the beginning there weren't really like any different drummies coming in or starting with that. It was more orchestrated with just strings and beautiful singing right here. Like this track really has some of the most beautiful Björk singing I've ever heard so far. And also this chorus is amazing. The state of emergency, how beautiful to be. State of emergency is where I want to be. Emotional landscapes that puzzle me. Confused. Can the riddle get solved and you push me up to the state of emergency? Pretty nice. And also I know what she means with like some volcanic beats, because they just starts to erupt sometimes. Like for here example, they came out of this filter and then it really like shows this really insane, nicely produced beat right there. While this one is not that kick heavy as the first one, it's more IDM like with some interesting things going on with the kind of orchestrations, while I don't know why they work so well with each other, while the one is organic and the one is just like some really trippy kind of IDM drums. I don't know how she did that, but that's really good and I love that. So yeah, this one right here is really good. Let's move on.
How beautiful to be
Now this track with also really noisy drumming really sounds like a state of emergency, if you know what I mean. It's like really compressed and really grabs you and just like shakes you. It's really interesting how that one formed on this track.
Up to this state of emergency, how beautiful to be state of emergency is where I was. How beautiful. Emergency is where I want to be. State of emergency. How beautiful to be. State of emergency.
Yeah, that one was even better than the first one, while the first one was more suspense and had this really like hunter feel to it, like the track was called, which is also like really good. Right here, I don't know what the word yoga means, but still, that one was great. The strings are even more amazing than on the first one, way more up, and they just like have this beautiful melody, just like swing beautifully through these tracks right here. And her singing is more beautiful than in a while. I could tell you at every track, oh yeah, with first, Björk's singing is great, but I don't have to tell you, right? So yeah. Someone was saying like the Icelandic things that sometimes stand here are gibberish or not really, but I was like reading this and this is maybe like really. No, it's a gibberish again. Okay, so it doesn't really have any kind of purpose in the songwriting. It's just for the feel and sound, right? Or the melody even. But still, that one was perfect right there. I don't have anything negative about that. Then noise kind of interlude right there, instrumental break was amazing. So I'm feeling a 9 to a 10 on that one. So let's move on to the next track, the third track, Unravel.
Are away. My heart comes undone, slowly unravels in a ball of yarn while you are away. My heart comes undone, slowly unravels in a ball of yarn.
This one is a more silent track and slower track. It gives space for some drumming as a texture in the back, which makes this track more in the way that the vocals are more important and sound more direct. Also, I like how the strings are more have more longer melodies and not so diverse melodies or like some upbeat or downbeat. It just like gives the other things of these tracks some space. So let's see if something else happens on this track.
But you never return. Have to make me love.
Now that one was just a small, little, beautiful track right there. Doesn't does anything too big, but I like those really lo-fi drumming in the back that doesn't like slam anything away of these tracks and give it more space. And while we had two banger of the tracks at the beginning, that one was a nice, quite of change up with some beautiful songwriting over. He'll never return it, so when you come back, he'll have to make new love. I also thought that this one was pretty interesting. when she was like talking about we'll have to make new love and so on. Well, yeah, pretty good. And on this one, I feel a good 8 on this one. It's a good track. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is called Bachelorette, the 4th track. Oh, it's a really nice transition right here. This track might be my favorite so far, and it's honestly so great. It sounds like some really grand kind of orchestral movie soundtrack, like those deep pianos and then this captivating beat, or not beat, maybe it's more like very orchestral drumming with those deep toms going in, and it's like a huge introduction of some sort of character, or I don't know exactly what. But also, I'm a fountain of blood in the shape of a girl. You're the bird on the brim, hypnotized by the whirl. Drink me, make me feel real. Wet your beak in the stream. Game we're playing is life. Love's a two-way dream. Then this beautiful chorus right here. And this one is just amazing. It's one of the best tracks I've heard in art pop so far ever. If this is art pop, or yeah, I mean, sure, it's somewhere that, but with some other instrumental choices coming in, but still this one is really great. Let's move on. This one is also very emotional important with so heavy drummings. They are so intense, and those strings were so huge, like when the main violin comes in with such beautiful, strong, emotional important strings. It was just beautiful. This one is great.
You will go astray like a killer whale. Tom, I'm the branch that you break.
I don't have anything to not like about that track. It was beautiful, heavy, just throws you into some orchestral fireworks, and it's just beautiful. Also, the noisy drumming that appears more often on this album is just amazing, and I think that that track is just genius, and it's a perfect track, the first perfect track of this album, if there are more. So that's a 10 right here. Bachelorette, beautiful track. Why does this look so trippy? What the... Well, anyways. This track right here, Bachelorette, might be my favorite Björk track so far. This one is just beautiful, and it has the best arrangement overall. The piano is just plain beautiful, and her singing is perfect to that. kind of sometimes sounds even very if she's like has a deep pain, and she kind of has this like story going on of this maybe girl or something that goes into this city. We had some of these in the previous album. I think it was in the previous album of also this girl that went to the city, and this one maybe adds up to that, and it has a really great sound. It's just amazing. As a Bachelorette favorite track of this album, favorite track by Björk so far. This looks so trippy. Anyways, let's move on. So let's move on to the fifth track, All Neon Like. Let's move on.
I'll come over, not till it shimmers round your skull. Embraces all, so you can sleep. Fetus style, and they will assist and the luminous beam and feed you and care.
Really good track. So far, I'm a little bit more experimental with some interesting sides coming into this one, especially those really good drums right here. The drums are some IDM, noisy, trippy, very interesting. Also, back texture, it's kind of like sounds like the cover, like these eyes, and it's just sounds so shivery and like some, I don't know, some ice levels of a video game or something. I don't know why, but yeah, that one was great so far. So let's listen somehow. There's also kind of like cooldown that comes here at 2 minutes. Great.
And the luminous beam and feed you and care.
Also, the synths are amazing. They have some really rich sound, which evolves also the texture from the back, also now into the front. And it sounds amazing, really great.
Don't get angry with yourself. I'll heal you with a razor blade. Don't get angry with yourself. I'll heal you.
So yeah, All Neon Like is a more experimental, different sides track, goes into some heavy IDM drumming, but then sometimes pushes back into some really nice, smooth synths going in. And then she sings, "Don't get angry with yourself, don't get angry with yourself, I'll heal you." And there are these beautiful sounds coming in. It's kind of like sounds like there's someone who's really in pain or something, I don't know, and then there comes like this she right here and just said, "Don't get angry with yourself, I'll heal you," and she does some ice kind of magic stuff, I don't know, and then there comes in these beautiful synths, kind of sounds like that, and it's great. I love that one. That one is a great 9 right here. So let's move on to the next track, the fifth track, now it's the sixth track, which is called 5 Years. Let's go.
Think you deny me of something? Well, I've got plenty. You're the one who's missing out, but you won't notice. I dare you to take me on. I dare you
Really good, noisy track right here, and some low bit kind of sounds, like these kind of how do you adapt that? Like it sounds like some old bitty kind of like sound, but still it sounds new. It's like some really interesting synths. I never produced some of these synths before, but it's interesting. And well, still, this track is great so far. Let's move on.
Can handle, I dare you to take me on. I dare you to show me your pound. Then they can't handle. You can't handle love, baby. You
Wow. These strings are amazing that got added right here. There was also a little bit of a synth part right there. Like it's a previous track, all neon likes. There are like different little sections where the instruments of these tracks fledge themselves into a beautiful composition and just have room for themselves to add some space for some like nice songwriting. And also it always feels like a cohesive story. And also like the chorus, you can't handle love, you just can't handle it. I dare you to take me on, I dare you to show me your palms. What's so scary, not a thread inside. Like the songwriting is so good so far. You think you're denying me of something? Well, I've got plenty. You're the one who's missing out, but you won't notice. Until after 5 years, if you live that long, okay, you'll wake up all loveless. Damn, this is great.
yes, you can't handle. I dare you. I dare
What an intense track. 5 years right there. Also the outro right there, and coming into this like last adding sound and so on, and just also these strings are beautiful again. I wonder if they were like especially just orchestrated for this album, but I guess they did. Would make sense, but still really great. And on 5 years I'm feeling a 9. Hold up a second again. 5 years. When listening to some more of this album, I think that 5 years is a perfect track right here for this album, and just a really unique sound with just throwing everything in there. Abrasive, noisy beats, beautiful strings, beautiful singing, beautiful composition, and so on. So yeah, that one is a 10. Just have to tell you that, right? Something it's a 10. It's a 10. So yeah, let's move on. So let's move on to the next track, which is called Immature. Mark Bell's version. Alright. Let's see.
How could I see missing elements in me? How extremely lazy of me. Und diese Teile I'll be so immature.
It sounds a little bit more different than before. You really get that right here on this track. maybe it's the production of Mark Bell, or his like version gets more like in a different sound, but I like these kind of shaky sound right here, and the drums are amazing, and also the corporations and those little vocoded, almost vocoded, who do you call that? Brace? Is that a brass? I don't know, but sounds great, and I mean the songwriting is pretty obvious. There's nothing that much to it, but I love the sound on this one so far. So that was the track Immature, Mark Bell's version. It was a little small track which was produced beautifully, it does nothing too big. It has a great sound to it, it doesn't throw you off the album. Well, that can sometimes happen if like someone else is just like producing a track inside an album that's not like cohesive, like moving on, those things. But still, I don't know what always like Björk does. If she does production on this track, maybe she also does some drumming or something, I don't know, or some programming, I don't know. I don't really know that. But still, great track. And it's not the strongest one, so I'm fitting a 7 to an 8 on that one. So let's move on to the next track, the 8th track, which is called Alarm Call. Great track right here, a little bit more dance-like, kind of like the first album debut right here. It has a great beat, really kick-based, but we haven't really gone back to the sound of the first track, Hunter. That one was really unique, also with those drumming and those pen, like that really doesn't get anywhere in the album so far, anywhere else. But like Alarm Call right here is just a great track again, and she tries something different of every track, and I really like that part of this album so far. And well, we only have like 3 tracks left. It's a short album actually, and I think that this one is just like front to back, just really good, and there's nothing to really tell you that should be bad, or there's nothing really that doesn't work, if you know what I mean. So let's move on.
I'm a fucking Buddhist. This is enlightenment. Alas, you give me the more space I've got. I want to be on a mountain top with a radio and good battery.
Damn, this sound right here got added. Like there's some nice little fluty kind of like synth sound coming in there, which sounds great. And this like synthetic bass on this track is so damn groovy. I didn't expect that there should be or like can be such a groovy album on this track. Also kind of reminds me of some tracks of debut, like for example that one track that they recorded in the bathroom. Can't remember. Or Life at the Toilet or something. I don't know what that one was called. There's more to life than this, I believe. So, yeah, let's move on.
Wake up now. Today has never happened, and it doesn't frighten me. It doesn't scare me. And being loved and I'm trying.
like this switch up right here to the more beautiful, kind of also nice sounding layered background vocals to this one that got added. Great again. This track is a great one again, but I wondered like how this one landed on this album, while all the other tracks has some other sounds, but I like the diversity of this album, and I also love if a track list doesn't have to be just always the same, and it's great for that. So yeah, that was Alarm Call. Great track. Very different one, so still good. I'm feeling something between an 8 and a 9 on that one. So let's move on to the next track, the 9th track, which is called Pluto.
But I just have to explode this.
What is this right here? This is amazing. Like she comes in with excuse me, but I just have to explode, and there are these very cutty, kind of amazing, very gritty synths right here coming in, and really noisy, and it just sounds amazing. And then this insane beat comes in, and what is this? This is so amazing. What the hell?
Bit tired, but brand
That one was a very otherworldly track with some amazing things going on. Also, those very ambient kind of pads going in at the end were also a really nice addition. And her angry singing, also with those noisy kind of like filter on her microphone, is amazing. Like this part right here. Songwriting wise, just genius. No, I'm just kidding. But still, really great track right here. That's one of the best kind of IDM art pop fusion tracks I've heard, and maybe ever. I don't know. It's really great. So yeah, I think that one is a 10. So let's move on to the last track, which is called All Full of Love, and then Howie's version. All right.
You'll be taken care of. You'll be given love. It's all around you. All is full of love. All around you. All is full of love.
A more ambient track is perfect also as a last track for an hour, and as an outro very concluding, and I love this. But right here, all is full of love. I like how these are like these straight single-lined synth in the back, and those little jarring, very small jarring basses coming in just sometimes, and they are just in the back here that you can't really even like hear them at the first listen. Björk is more silent and reserved maybe, but also twist your head around. It's all around you. All is full of love all around you. But still, I like this track, and I like how this one forms as the last track right here. Pretty good. Also, these little stringy instruments coming in sometimes. Maybe there's harpsichords or kotos, or I don't know what they added right there, but it sounds great again. And let's see what else is track out. Let's move on. Beautiful track right there at the end, very ambient, and got some nice ambience going on. And as a last track, it's just really beautiful to have something like that, and gives maybe also why this album really doesn't have really that nice little cohesion and a circle, while the first track Hunter was just throwing you in with some experimental sides, and then it says goodbye with All Is Full of Love, which is just really beautiful at the end and gets very structured and easy to listen to, which is maybe also really a nice part of this album because there's so much experimental, dancey, abrasive, noisy, but also beautiful and cold also sometimes. It's really amazing, and I love this album really. So that's it. That was homogenic, and I'll give you some extra thoughts soon if I listen to some more of this album, and then I will give you a rating, and then I will see you at the next break album. So yeah, what else can I tell you about my experience with Homogenic? Really good album. I loved this one so much. So many great tracks, also tracks that really grew me with a little bit, I can't speak English, a little bit more time. Homogenic is really great in a kind of way. Björk went from post to this because it's just such a different level of just accomplishment in music, and it has also really full-fledged sound and a production style that she really can evolve even more, and maybe she does it at the next album or stuff. But yeah, I just want to tell you, I love this album. I love every track. So yeah, on this one, I'm feeling a decent to strong 9. So yeah, see you at the next Björk album, which is, I believe, Vulnicura. So see you then.